Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. On this video we're going to be showing you how to install some custom interior leather seat covers, and I'm going to be going from seat removal to cover installation, and I'm going to go all over that in this tutorial. So let's go ahead and get right to it. Alright guys, let's go over some tools you're going to need for this installation. Starting off, you're going to need some sort of pry tools. So these actually right here in this packaging was actually provided by Kustom Interior themselves. So big shout out to them for actually making sure you have everything you need, or almost everything you need, to complete the installation. Second of all, you're gonna need some sort of ratchet. In my case, I got this Pittsburgh from Harbor Freight. It's a double-sided, so I can end up using this with this 10mm socket to remove the battery. You're gonna need some sort of pick tool. Most important tool of them all is gonna be this right here. This is a T55 socket, and this is gonna be used to remove the bolts holding the seat together to the floor. And then to make things easier, I'm gonna be using this Milwaukee battery powered ratchet. This just basically helps with the installation being a lot faster. You don't have to have one, but if you have one, it definitely makes a world of difference. So let's go ahead and get that battery disconnected and then get onto the installation. All right, first things first, you're gonna go ahead and open up your hood. In my case, I have hood pins, and this hood has to get rewrapped, so that's why it looks like this. Your battery is gonna be located on the left side of the car. And all you're gonna need is to remove the 10mm or loosen up the 10mm on the negative side of the battery. And once you have done that, just go ahead and wiggle it a little bit. And the battery should be disconnected just like that. Alright guys, let's go ahead and start removing the seat. First things first, I like to go ahead and move the seat forward, then tilt it forward a little bit, and then underneath here, you should feel on the left side of the seat, you should feel some sort of wiring harness that comes from the floor, and all you're gonna do is unplug that. Now you might be wondering what that's for. From what I've been told, it's airbag wiring. That's why we disconnect the battery first, so that way nothing messes up. So now once that's been disconnected, second step you're gonna do, slide the chair backwards, and this is where you're gonna go get your tools, and you're gonna remove these little covers here. So you're gonna have two in the front right here, and then you're gonna have two in the back, and you're gonna have to remove those covers to get to the next step. All right guys, now once you have your tools, there's different ways you can go ahead about popping these. For me, what works the best, to be honest, is using this tool here, which should be in the Kustom Interior provided toolbox that they sent with the packaging. But I'm gonna use this one because it's kind of beat up already, so you know, might as well put it out of its misery. All right, so here's a little secret to taking these off, okay? So that way you're not ruining the plastic. Sometimes this cover is actually kind of lifting like this, so you're just gonna basically pick the side that's lifting the most, and you're gonna pull it off. Then you're gonna go to the other side, do the same thing. And then after you do that on the front, pull the chair forward. Now these are a little bit trickier because they're a lot smaller. So what I like to do, usually it's the same thing, go to the sides. Let me see if I can get this off. This one's kind of harder to do. Let me see. Okay, that's not working, so let's go ahead and get the pry tool. Not the pry tool, the pick tool. See, this is exactly why I recommend having a little pick tool here. Looks like this, has like a little bit of a tiny hook end. Okay, and that's how you do that side. Let's go ahead and do the same on this one. Sorry if it's a little dark in here. There's no light because we disconnected the battery. Let me see if I can get it from this side. All right, that one's coming off. Boom, there you go. So now let's go back to the front side. And then let's go ahead and move on to the next step. All right, guys. So the next step on this tutorial is going to be to remove the bolts holding the seat. So this is where the T55 socket falls in. For the 2024 and I know the 2019, excuse me, they use T55s. I don't know for 2018 below. But what you're gonna end up doing is putting it right here in the center, as you can see, and then you're gonna go ahead and get your ratchet. All right, lefty loosey, righty tighty. Now these bolts aren't too hard to get to or actually remove, but let's go ahead and remove them real quick. If you have a power ratchet like I do recommend using that, but let's loosen them first. Let's go ahead and take this off. Alright guys, now that these two are off, we're going to slide the chair forward, and same thing here. Let's go ahead and loosen this with this. Okay, alright, let's go ahead and take these off. All right, and that's all that's to it. All right guys, next step on this tutorial is seat removal from the actual car. I do recommend you guys take off the headrest first, because I promise you it's gonna make taking the seat off way easier. Let's go ahead and put that up here. All right, now that you have disconnected all the cables and remove all 4 bolts, you're gonna go ahead and remove the seat from the car. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, now on to the next step. We're gonna go ahead and open up this box. Now keep in mind, I already opened this box before because I installed the passenger side first before I made this video. But let's go ahead and review what's in the box. Let's go ahead and pull these off. Yeah, that's my mistake. All right, so in this box, which is actually pretty amazing packaging, we're gonna go ahead and zip this open, not up, and then we're gonna have a headrest. This is the headrest cover for the front seats, so I'm gonna lay that over there. Then I gotta find, I think this is it. So this is for the front seat right here. This is the front cover. Now one thing you should keep in mind whenever you do this installation, the top covers, these are directional, and now the way that you can go ahead and figure out which side is which, super simple. Airbag sticker, airbag sticker, that's it. It's just that simple. If for some reason your airbag sticker broke and you don't have that, this right here, obviously one's going to be on this side, the other one's going to be on the opposite side. See, just go ahead and match it, and that's how you do it. So now let's go back down to the bottoms. Let's go ahead and get out of the box. Okay, so this is the bottom one. From what I can tell, these are not directional at all. So you can go ahead and use either one of these, because you know I have the other one, like I said, already installed. But you can use either or, like both of them on each side if you wanted to. But do make sure that this one is the correct one you use for the directional side. All right, well, let's go ahead and start with the bottom. So the goal of this is going to be to get these little 3 straps into the slit here and out the other side. And now these other hooks here, let's go ahead and get these hooks because they keep getting stuck everywhere. These hooks here are going to go underneath the seat, and they're going to strap to these little metal bars, which I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so first things first, you're going to want to put the cover like this. Okay, on these edges here, you're going to want to tuck this into the plastic. Here, let me go ahead and do that real quick. Tuck them in, tuck them in. Now these little cords here, you're gonna want to grab them each one by one, which is a little bit of a pain in the butt, but hold on, I'll get to it and I'll show you. So you go ahead and get them in there. Just go ahead and keep pushing them in. Hold on. Make sure they go out the other side. I'll show you what that looks like in 1 second. I know this looks like a pain in the rear, but I assure you this is not that bad. Okay, so once you have gotten those out the other side, in order to get the back to tighten up a little bit, because it looks really loose right now, it's you're gonna have to flip the chair over. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, now this part is really easy and really simple. What this does is stretch out the bottom parts down, so that way the seat's not like the seat cover is not too loose and stuff. One thing I do recommend while you're down here is to shove these in here through the plastic, so it looks as OEM as it can be. Let's go ahead and get to this. Now, as you can see, you have these little metal bars. You're just gonna grab this and you're gonna head and stretch them, and then just have the bar hold the little hooks. All right, once you have done this, the bottom part should be a lot stiffer, and all you got to do is just basically tuck these corners into the side of the seat. Let's go ahead and tuck them into the plastic. Sorry, my camera's falling off. All right, let's go ahead and grab the back. So we're gonna go ahead and fold the seat. Should fix itself a little bit once we have these tightened up. See, like right now, these little covers are not even the covers, but the bungee cords, not in all the way. So what you're gonna do is pull, let go. Pull, let go. Same thing with this one. Pull, let go. Okay, now we're gonna go back to the front and fix a little couple things. Try to get this as good as we can. This is how it should look like. Let me go ahead and give you a better view on the sides here. So yeah, you kind of want to tuck it in like this. You just push it in there. You can either push it with your fingers or a pry tool, and just try to push it all the way in there to make it look as OEM as you can. Now with the backs tightened all the way, like stretched out with the bungee cords, and the bottom stretched out with the little hooks, this should look like this. Okay, that, you gotta tell me the truth, that looks fucking awesome. Oops, sorry, my language. That looks freaking awesome. Looks really good, honestly. This is pretty nice. Okay, one thing I do recommend is flipping the chair over one more time before installing the tops, and just tugging on these things. Just keep tugging on them. That way you can go ahead and stretch it as much as you can before we put the tops on. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the front. Actually, not to the front, but to the top. All right, guys, to start off the top part of the of the seat, we're gonna start off with the headrest. So this is pretty simple. It's gonna have these little straps. Just make sure these straps are open and out of the way before you install this. So hold on. There you go. This is really simple. Basically, you just line it up, and then just kind of push it. Keep pushing it. Now, if you need a little bit of help, don't be scared to just push it to the floor and just push down. All right. So here's one thing that I will say, keep in mind. You can try tucking it in a little bit. This is pretty maxed out already. Let's see. One more tug. Okay. So this is pretty maxed out already. It's gonna look like this, but if you keep your headrest all the way down, you're not even gonna notice it. That is one thing I do say. If Kustom Interiors can make this piece a little bit longer, for me to be able to, you know, cover more of it, that'd be awesome. But see, look, a lot of you might think, oh, he's not pulling down hard enough. No, I'm pulling, man. Still the same. I'm gonna pull a little bit more. See? So let's go ahead and strap it on. If you can get this to go down more, then leave me a comment below and I'll go ahead and refix mine. But that's pretty much it on that. Let's go ahead and work on the backrest. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the actual backrest of the seat. So this one's pretty straightforward. Make sure this zipper on the right side is completely open. And this one's similar to the bottom. It has 3 straps and 2 that go underneath the seat. And basically, you're gonna want to put this on like a t-shirt. Let me go ahead and show you. Let's see, like that. So you're gonna put it on like a shirt. Make sure you line it up as perfect as you can before installing it, and you're just gonna pull. Make sure to grab it from the sides and turn it a little bit. One thing I will tell you, Kustom Interior makes these from like super freaking awesome material, and so don't be scared or afraid to push on it or pull it. Okay, so these here, you're probably like, whoa, this is too big for the holes. Promise you, it's not too big for the holes. Look, simple and easy to get these through. Corner, 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 corner. Boom, look at that. Same thing on the other side. Pushing the corners, corners. There you go. Now for the shoulder strap here in the corner. Damn, I say, take a shot every time I say corner. This is not too bad. So look, put your finger in the hole, try to find the strap, push it. Once your other hand finds that strap, just try to fetch it. Let me go ahead and get it real quick. Right there. Let me move that strap a little closer. There we go. All right, look. Grab it, pull it, boom. Now you can tug it on more. Now, one thing I will tell you is this here is the magnetic little belt thingy, so you can hold your belt. Try to align this hole as best as you can to get this out. So that means you're probably gonna have to shift this cover a little bit, shift it a little bit, keep moving it, and you're gonna have to keep playing with it. Same thing with this. Let's go ahead and tuck it up real quick. Lift it up, I mean. And you're just gonna basically just shift it, try to play with it. Now, one thing I will say is I have not been able to get this to go in it, so I'm guessing they probably just left this open enough for you to be able to use this lever. But basically, as you can tell, this is pretty aligned to this now. Now, the only reason why it looks like this is because we haven't put the straps underneath the slit at the bottom, and we haven't strapped the back straps at the bottom either. So right now everything's pretty loose. Let's go ahead and work on that right now. Okay. All right, guys, so like I was saying, you're gonna want to put these straps all the way in there, just like we did for the bottom. It's gonna be a total of 3 of them, so make sure to push. I don't know why I almost said pull. And let me find the third one. Where is it? I was sneaky at the top. Let's go ahead and push this in there. Now for these little pieces here at the bottom, just push them with your fingers. Tuck them in. All right, let's go ahead and go to the back side and flip this over. Now step 1, we're gonna go ahead here to the flap. Now you're gonna have 2 flaps. You're gonna have 2 flaps. Lift them up like this, and you're gonna find the 3 bungee cords that I was pushing in from the other side. So what you're gonna do is just pull, get this one here, pull really hard on it, get the third one, pull really hard on it, and that should tighten up the front. Now we're gonna lay this upside down, and this is a pretty simple step. Okay, you're gonna grab these little 2 hooks just like we did with the fronts. I mean, not the fronts, but the bottom seats. And we're just gonna go ahead and find another metal bar that we can hook them onto. So for this one, I'm gonna go over here. Hold on. There we go. So now this is all nice and tight. Okay, now we're gonna move up to the front. You know what, while you're here, grab the OEM strap and just put them back where they belong. Put them right there. Same thing with the wiring harness we left out from earlier. Okay. Now all that's left is just finishing touches. So we're gonna try to pull this way. Remember, like I said, this little back piece does not go out. At least from what I know, it does not go out. This is exactly how I did the other side, and I haven't had any problems with it. The only things I will say is just try to align the magnetic clip here. Okay, let me wipe it off a little bit because my hands are a little dirty. All right, and then just zip it down. Okay, now this is the final product right here. Let's give it a little wipe down. Mine's a little bit dirtier than probably yours is, but that's just because I'm out here in the Florida sun, you know, doing this tutorial so you guys don't have to fight figuring out how to do this, you know. So one thing you should know is that this here, when you first get it, it might be a little bit loose. It might not be completely tight all the way, but I will say give it like 2 weeks total with the sun and everything and the heat inside the interior. The more you sit on it, it'll start actually like stretching out, and it's gonna feel a lot more even than it currently does. But like I said, just try to do the finishing touches. Make sure your plastics, your fabric is tucked inside the plastics. And yeah, let's go ahead and put the headrest on. Right here. Sorry about the neighbor, he's just talking to the phone. Let me push this down. There we go. All right, and that's it for the tutorial. There's really nothing else to cover. Installation is exactly the same as like installing the seat back to the car. It's exactly the same as taking them off the car. Just put it back in there, line up the holes, put the bolts in, and you should be done. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Subscribe and make sure to check out Kustom Interiors. Let me show you the logo one more time, because these guys make everything from seat covers to steering wheels. They have everything you need for your car and your build, and it's they have different colors. Like I said, for these covers here, they have, I believe, black, all full red. They have yellow and blue seats, so definitely make sure to check them out. And let's cue the montage.